Jungle Jack Hanna. How you doing? Thanks, everybody. Boy, you ever having fun at SeaWorld? Yeah. One more time. You having fun at SeaWorld? Yeah. Well, thanks for coming out today. I do these shows every year. This is like my 26th year of coming here, at least once or twice a year. It's a beautiful, beautiful park. As a matter of fact, you may know this. Next year, SeaWorld celebrates 50 years here. 50 years. Can you imagine that, everybody? Unbelievable what they've done, isn't it? Not just what they've done with the whales, not what they've done with all the dolphins and all that sort of thing. I'm here, everyone, because it's not because I'm making a living. I can do a lot of things. I've been to this park for the first time, my wife and I. And see, my wife, the one that does a show with me, she hates this when I do it because she very rarely travels with me. Now, Susie, my wife, Susie, please stand up. You see her on my new show, Into the Wild. Please stand up. These people are hot right now. That's Anyway. So we've been very lucky to travel the world and bring you guys the animal shows for almost 30-something years now. And we really enjoy that. But SeaWorld and Busch Gardens were the first ones that started our shows some 22 years ago. Now, why do I come to these parks? Many of you may not know this. This park, all these parks, rehabilitate or release more animals back into the wild than probably all the 221 zoos this country put together. Millions of dollars are spent by this company that you don't even know about, whether it be the whales, the dolphins, the sea turtles, the birds, and the sea lions, whatever it might be. Let's have a round of applause for a company that really practices what they preach. They really do a tremendous job here, and that's why I'm here. Anyway, we just got back from Panama filming in Costa Rica. You'll see these shows coming up in the fall. In about 48 hours, I'll leave for Rwanda. We have a little house in Rwanda. A lot of you adults know about Rwanda, the terrible genocide. But we also go there for our orphanage and our school, as well as to see the mountain gorillas, which hopefully you'll see all those shows coming up here very shortly. So that's kind of what my life's like on the road 220 days a year, and I love every minute of it, because I love that you guys come here to the parks as well as watch our animal shows as well. Now, our first animal, and bear with us, everybody, because I know it's difficult for some people maybe over here. They're going to try and walk along the front of the stage here if they could. These right here are jackrabbits. And, no, they're not. These are obviously, is this a red? The red kangaroo. Now, everyone look closely at the kangaroo. What kind of animal is a kangaroo?
Marsupial.
A marsupial, that's correct. In our country, everybody, in our country, we only have one marsupial. What is it? A possum. In Australia, Australia has over 200 marsupials. The koala, the wombat, the kangaroo. The list goes on and on and on. Sugar glider. On and on and on the list goes of marsupial. Now, what is a marsupial? I'll do the best I can. I don't think I did anything wrong. I don't know. I'll let them figure that. Am I doing something wrong? Who knows? That happens to me all the time. Don't worry about it. I can even yell loud. A marsupial, everybody, means that the baby is raised in a pouch, not the mommy's tummy, all right? A baby kangaroo in the birth is one of the most amazing things in nature. When they're born, they're the size of your fingernail. They look like a little jelly bean or a worm. Can you imagine this? On a kangaroo like that. It comes out of the birth canal and goes on the outside of the stomach like this and crawls up into the pouch. It takes a half hour to an hour for the animal to make that journey. Over half of them will fall off on the ground. They won't perish immediately. But that's what the marsupial is as far as a kangaroo is concerned. They go in the pouch, the breast swells around their mouth, and they stay in there 6 to 8 months. Now, a kangaroo, everybody, can have 3 babies at one time. She has a kangaroo leaving the pouch at 8 months. She can actually have that little worm coming out of the birth canal and breed the same day. It's a delayed implantation that the kangaroo has. All right? Can you hear me all right? Can't hear me all right? Testing 1, 2, 3, 4. Here it goes. Anyway, so they come out of the pouch. When they're out here on the ground, remember the worm coming up and breed the same day. 3 different stages of life. What happens sometimes in the zoo world is, in the wild, if she knows something's being born and this thing is only 2 or 3 months old, undeveloped, she'll push it out with her paw. They don't live 30 seconds. In the zoo world, if it's pushed out, it's formed like a kangaroo. We can save these animals every time by the pouches we have. If you notice the kangaroo bounces by its tail, they can go up to 40 miles an hour, jump 30 feet at a time. As a matter of fact, if you look at the front foot there, the back foot, you'll notice a claw. You cannot see it, I realize that. But on the front of that foot is a claw. That claw is the main means of defense it has if it's cornered. By the way, this would never happen to you. If a dingo or a dog were to corner a kangaroo, a wild kangaroo, they kick out like this. Quicker than lightning. You can't even see it. And that becomes a knife. So therefore that dog or dingo is no longer around. And until 2 years ago, no human being had ever been killed or harmed by really a kangaroo until a guy came home from a party at 12 in the morning, about 1 in the morning, and he's no longer here because they tried to corner a wild kangaroo. But they're beautiful. Look at the how he stands up there. Some of these kangaroos I've seen stand up as tall as I am. So let's hear it for a beautiful hop along and hopping, our beautiful kangaroos there from SeaWorld. Isn't that something with that? You should see me checking into a hotel with this thing behind me. We get kicked out every single time. Every time. But they can really fly. By the way, what do you call a big group of kangaroos? Like a herd of cattle. What's it called? A mob. It's called a mob of kangaroos. Like a flock of geese, a herd of cattle, a mob of kangaroos. Look at this animal coming close to here. I'll want to down in here. I don't know if you want to bring that up. You want to walk it up here or walk it down there? All right. If you want to, you want to walk it more toward here. The people out there can't see it that close to the audience. If you want to come out here, just walk it right in there. This, everybody, is an African porcupine. Remember something, everyone. There are 3 porcupines in the world. The African porcupine being the largest, and guess what? They get twice as big. The ones in Africa, the ones out there can get twice as big as this. The African porcupine, the Central American prehensile tail porcupine looks like a possum with quills, and the North American porcupine. Look at this animal here closely. It's beautiful. I've only seen it once or twice in Africa all my times going over there. Those quills there are used for weapons, knitting needles, and decoration by certain tribes in Africa. Believe it or not, people eat the porcupine, not just in Africa, but in this country as well. Now, how does a lion or hyena eat a porcupine? They will circle the animal like this, slowly. Then they'll run around the porcupine. The porcupine actually gets dizzy and falls over. Then they have to eat from underneath. It's very soft there. The porcupine does not throw its quills. Some people say, oh, I can't get near, it's going to throw its quills. You have to touch that animal, and that's what will happen. But on this animal here, everyone, the African porcupine, they actually spread out their quills. Like you see a peacock, right? And the peacock rattles his feathers. That's what he does with his quills to tell the lion and hyena to stay away from him. At that point, if the quills do get in his mouth or paw, actually what will happen is they can pull them out. A North American porcupine, the quills have a barb on it. A barb like a fish hook. If a dog or a coyote or a mountain lion or wolf in our country would eat a North American porcupine and get the quills in its mouth or in its paws, that could be fatal to that animal. Infection immediately sets in. That's how the North American porcupine works. So let's hear it for quickly our porcupine here from SeaWorld. Thank you so much. That's a real animal you don't see very much at all, folks, except here at SeaWorld. The animal, again, is nocturnal, so you can imagine seeing that animal at nighttime is very, very difficult. But black and white is neat. By the way, go home today and see what animals you can count. Go by your kids, are they black and white? The zebra, the Dalmatian, a certain cow, a killer whale, the conversant dolphin. What else? Yeah, a panda, exactly. Several animals are. Now this right here, everyone, this is a black vulture, and you see these all over our country. Some people said, now Jumbo Jack is going to attempt to, I'm not a bird person, okay? I mean, I'm a bird person, I'm not a bird trainer. These guys don't, this guy here, let's have a, oh, praise the Lord, he bypassed me. Hey, look here, Jack, look at this. Now that was beautiful. Let's hear it for Gary there. That's something else. That's amazing. This guy can train a woodpecker. I swear he can. He can change anything with wet wings. Now, come here. Don't eat my hair. Okay, I'm not dead. Don't attack me. This is a black vulture. You know something, folks? What was it wrong? See there? I knew I was doing something wrong. But everyone, listen. You won't believe this. These birds. Should I quit talking? He's not nervous. Okay. These birds, believe it or not, everybody. These birds here can soar for days, not just for 2 hours. Oh, Jack, that thing's heavy. He just weighed like a... You know, I had one jump on my head once trying to pull my hair out. I got it on my bloopers, I really did. But imagine, everyone, these animals can fly for days without ever moving their wings at high altitudes. You notice how his head's kind of bald there on top? Gary was telling me earlier that he can move his feathers back because bacteria can grow on those feathers. That's why they don't have much hair like me. Anyway, these animals here do not have, even though his feet looks like a chicken's foot or a turkey foot. They don't have talons like a bird of prey does. A bird of prey, an American bald eagle, everybody. American bald eagle has 1,000 pounds of pressure per square inch. But if I didn't have this glove on, a bald eagle would land land on my arm, would go through my skin, muscle, and break my bone in a split second. That's the power the bald eagle has. They cannot rely on those talons there because these things are obviously dead. It's a very important animal in nature, everybody. It really is. In Africa, you won't believe this. It's very important from the standpoint, the minute a kill takes place in Africa, guess what? In less than 3 minutes, you're circling over that kill. Buzzards and vultures immediately you're circling over the kill. That helps other animals, hyenas and everything else, to locate that kill as well. So it's a neat animal. So Bobby the buzzard there. Let's thank you, Gary, so much from SeaWorld. Neat animal there. We see these by the thousands. I've seen them by the thousands. It's almost dark in the sky in certain countries throughout the world.
He likes chocolate.
These animals, again, when they can fly so far, it's amazing. Never fly, just get out of the thermals in the air. Matter of fact, some of the birds, you hear about the airlines hitting birds. This is one of the birds that happens with, by the way, the buzzard. So have you got to see all the shows today? Everybody, how many did you see the Killer show? Did you see the other show? All the shows. Pensacola, you see this show here? Well, this is a neat show here. A lot of these animals, you may not know this, you're going to see this show coming up here, are rescued from humane societies and shelters. Can you imagine that? SeaWorld, along with Joe Slavin, has rescued several thousands of animals that have not been here today thanks to this show here today as well. This next animal. Oh my gosh, there it is right there. This right here is a female. She's a Homo sapien. She's about 25 years old. Likes salad. I'm just joking. It's a joke I had, okay? It's not good. There, everyone, is an animal obviously called a sloth. I think that's a two-toed sloth, all right? Not even 72 hours ago, I was in Chile filming the sloth in Panama. This animal already dates back toward the dinosaur era. All right, it's changed very little in thousands of years. Actually, the prehistoric sloth, which looked just like this, weighed over 1,000 pounds back then. Can you imagine that? He's a two-toed and three-toed sloth. And you know he looks backwards, doesn't he? You know what? 90% of his life is spent upside down. 90% of his life upside down. Having a baby, eating, breeding, sleeping, whatever it might be. But why would this be one of the hardest animals for me to film in the wild? One of the hardest animals, one of the slowest moving mammals in the world, and yet I have a hard time filming it. You know why? Because it turns green. Certain parts of Central South America, it rains a lot, which rains a lot everywhere there, but certain parts, he turns green because algae grows on his fur, on his hair. Algae. Therefore, you'll read where the animal is diurnal, which means daytime and nighttime. And I can tell you this, most all of them in daytime will sleep. Their heart rate drops to almost nothing. And the animal gets in the crux of a tree with a green algae on it. It looks like a big blob of moss. There's no way, unless you have a guide, you never find one. One day a week they come on the ground. One time a week they come down on the ground. Who knows why? To go to the bathroom. Why don't they go to the bathroom in the treetops? You know why? Because if they went to the bathroom in the treetops, it would drop to the ground. Harpy eagle, a jaguar, an ocelot would hear that and they go, hey, let's go eat the sloth. Therefore, he comes down the ground real slowly, goes to the bathroom real quick, he goes back up in his tree. And this animal has several teeth, but it has two big teeth up there, all right? They're kind of dull, but trust me, that's his last means of defense. If a sloth would ever bite you, he'd take your hand off. But it's not an aggressive creature, it's just that he's threatened by any means. Look at that hair. You think that animal really weighs a lot? It doesn't weigh that much. It's mostly fur and hair. So when I go to Central South America, especially in South America, and I go over to the Andes Mountains up there, they have sloth gloves, sloth hats, sloth sweaters. So the animal is very vital to the certain people that live in that part of the world. The sloth is not an endangered species. It is threatened in some parts, but the main enemy of the sloth is mainly automobiles now, where this animal hangs around and where the roads go through their jungles. Many of them are hit by cars. But it's a beautiful animal, everyone. Again, look at it closely because it dates back to the dinosaur era. Thank you so much for bringing out the sloth. I love all these animals, but sloth is very fascinating. He's always reaching out because these animals, believe it or not, they can reach out on a limb that you would not think is humanly possible to catch on to and go from tree to tree. Now I was raised in Tennessee. These are Tennessee chickens. It's not Tennessee chicken. These are emus, all right? You have the ostrich from Africa, all right? The rhea, R-H-E-A, from South America, and the emu from Australia, all right? Corinne Brindley here is from Australia. She's sitting right in here, and she knows more about this animal than anybody can ever imagine. But these animals can go very fast. 20, 30, 40, I mean real fast, by the way. As these animals walk around, look at the foot of this animal. There are some people in some zoological parks that can tell you now would rather work with any animal, let's use the ostrich for example, than one of these creatures here. It doesn't say this is an ostrich, so it's kind of like an ostrich. The emu's egg is blue, by the way, a beautiful blue color. The emu also, have you heard of emu oil? I know you heard of emu oil, a lot of you have, right? There's also a big thing right now, not a big thing, but in Australia, a lot of the ostrich, emus, rheas, a lot of it is a product like we have beef or chicken in those parts of the world. Those feathers, you know the dusters, right? You've seen those, you've seen hats, you've seen all sorts of things. But the speed of these animals is blow your mind. And when there's an ostrich on eggs, you don't go, I don't know about the emu, but an ostrich, I can tell you now, you don't go near that nest. That bird will rip you apart if you go anywhere near an ostrich nest. The eggs of these animals are very valuable in certain tribes, especially in Africa with the ostrich. Those eggs are used as canteens, all right? They drain the egg out of, some people down in Africa, Botswana, that one ostrich egg can feed a family of 6 or 7 people per day, just one big ostrich egg. These eggs are very, very valuable too. They're used as canteens, all right? They're used as canteens for some of the people who live there. They hold water in it. But the animal also, you see what he's eating, like a lot of seeds and things like that. And it's in fact, the cassowary, who's heard of the cassowary? Very prehistoric bird. Looks something like this, but bigger. It's got the most gorgeous head you've ever seen. The blues and the reds and the cassowary's head is incredible. And the cassowary is one animal, it's almost like a predator, a predatory bird that dates back to the dinosaur era. So these animals have been on the planet as well for a long, long time. Let's hear it for our beautiful emus here in Australia. 3 land birds in the world, 3 of the largest land birds in the world. Ostrich, emu, and rhea from South America, Australia, and then of course the ostrich from Africa. Don't look at me that way. Don't ever turn your back on an ostrich, alright? And it's amazing because sometimes when you go in the wild and you're filming and stuff, you come up with a truck. This animal right here, this is a Tennessee walking horse. These are llamas, obviously, everybody. Now look at the llama that goes by you, all right? Guess how many llamas are being raised in our country right now? In the last 20 to 30 years, a lot of people raise a llama. For example, where I live part-time in Glacier National Park, and you're not in the park itself, guess what people are taking with them to go hiking? These animals here are pack animals, right? Some people ride the llama in certain parts of South America, I'm sorry. The guanaco, the llama, different types of a species like this animal here. Similar to that, similar to use for their coats. You've heard of the coats for the fur. They shave them. They don't have to kill the animal. They shave them just like you would a sheep. But the llama also, one of the things you have to watch out for, and you can ask my wife this, that's the closest she's ever came to losing her life. And we've been a lot of places around the world. We try to avoid any kind of confrontation with animals. When we film our show, everybody, we film with respect, all right? But one time a llama came after her. We were just walking, and came after her and jumped on her back with both front legs and went right into her kidneys. So you got to be very careful. A llama will, when you think a llama just sit there eating grass, you go like this, never turn your back on one. Plus they do like to bite sometimes and spit, but these are kind of animals, these are obviously the ones here at SeaWorld that they want to show you a very, I don't say old or ancient, an animal used as a pack animal for many, several thousands of years. They got good eyesight, and that fur there again keeps them warm depending on where they are, even keeps them cool wherever they are. Look at the feet of the llama. That's why people use them in hiking, because they're just like grasping onto walls like a mountain goat. They can really hold on to almost nothing with those feet, unlike a camel's foot, which is real big. So let's hear it for our beautiful llamas there from SeaWorld. I love those animals.
They're not going to bring out.
Again, the llamas, when you do go to, like down in Chile and Patagonia and all that part of the world, the guanaco, animals like that are all over the place down there. Now we're going to try and fly something here right now, all right? You saw how well I did the last time. That's what I'm not going to do it this time. These guys, I'm not much of a bird guy as far as a trainer, but I love birds, by the way. And this right here, everybody, is a Harris hawk. Look at it closely. The Harris hawk is an incredible bird of prey. It's one of the few birds of prey. I think they're going to fly. Oh, let me get out.